Erev Tov, everyone. Who's with us? I see that Ivor with us. I see Taryn with us, Hilton with us, Jeffrey with us. Who else? Lonsi with us. I see also Louis with us. Good. Who else? Jeffrey just joined us. Oh Hashem, I see Brian and Glenda joining us. Who else with us? Let's see. Hilton with us. Hello, Hilton. How are you? That's very nice to see you with us. Good. Who else with us? Let's see. Yes. Okay. Is Dr. Les with us? Usually Dr. Les give us the news, but I don't see Dr. Les with us yet. Okay. Okay. Let's just wait another few more minutes just for guys to join us, and then we'll start Be'ezrat Hashem, everyone. Jeffrey, you with us, Nahon? You can hear me clear.
Yeah,
good.
All good. Good evening.
Good. Okay, so we're going to start Parashat Vayera. I would like to dedicate the show in the soul of Esther Kaden Bat Ketia, Mordechai ben Rahma, Tamar Bat Zehava, Eitan ben Keren ואבישי נאה, מלכה רג'ינה בת ג'ויה, יעקב סלומון בן פרחה, פרחה בת שלחה, יפה בת קלמן, נחום זאב בן ישראל ושמואל בן דדו. נשמתם תהיה צרורה בצור החיים. The show, please God, will uplift their soul in heaven. Also, I would like to dedicate the show in health of Liora Bat Miriam, מנשה נג'י בן פרחה, הרב משה בן בהי בתיה, הרב משה בן דבורה, הרב שלמה יהודה בן דליה, הרב אברהם בן מרינה, דבורה בת אסתר, שיינה קיילה בת חנה, מרדכי דוד בן לאה, who else we have? יהודה הלל בן שולמית לאה. Also, I would like to dedicate the show in health of Chaim Nahum ben Pesareza Kohen, Baruch ben Sarah Yena, Yehuda ben Eliezer, Meir ben Yehuda, Ariel ben Shilat, Pesach Yitzhak ben Ela, Ayala Eden bat Rivka, Uri ben Yael, Hanania, Shalom ben Avigdor, Malka bat Rachel, Itai ben Tali, Emmanuela bat Gabriel, Gabriel ben Hana, Haya, Sheina, Leah. Please God, רפואה שלמה to all of them, ולכל חולי ופצועי עמו בית ישראל, וכל כוחות הביטחון, שהקדוש ברוך הוא ישמור אותם ויגן עליהם. Hello? כן? Someone wanted to say something? Because we're going to start the show, I'm going to mute everyone. Okay, we're muting. Jeffrey, we're going to start. Rabotai, this coming Shabbos, we're gonna read Parashat Vayera, and let's see what we can learn from Parashat Vayera. Vayera elav Adonai be'elone mamre, vehu yoshev petach haoel kechom hayom.
Hashem appeared to him, Abraham, in the plains of Mamre, while he was sitting at the entrance of the tent in the heat of the day.
What's happening here? A few questions. If you look carefully, Jeffrey say he appeared to Abraham, but the Torah doesn't say that. The Torah doesn't say. Vayera elav. Adonai. Adonai appeared to him. It doesn't say to who. Rashi HaKadosh, Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki, that born in a city of Troyes. Troyes is the north of France. Okay, he born around 900 and 84 years ago, he said something very interesting. Look what he said. Yom Shlishi lemilato haya. It said that it was the third day to his circumcision. ובא הקדוש ברוך הוא ושאל בשלומו, and came up the Almighty and asked to check how he's feeling. By the way, if you want to find it, it's in a Gemara in Baba Metzia, page 86, folio 2. That's where Rashi brings it. And immediately all the Mefarshim ask, why doesn't the Torah tell us who did HaKadosh Baruch Hu appear to? The Torah doesn't tell us the name of Avraham Avinu here. We know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu appeared to Avraham Avinu. Why is the Torah doesn't say that? Question number one. If the Torah doesn't say it, and Rashi HaKadosh didn't say it, obviously there is something very important here. Why the name of Avraham Avinu not been mentioned? Why the name of Avraham Avinu not been mentioned? So I saw a beautiful interpretation of the Maharikash. Maharikash is Rabbi Yosef Kastro. Rabbi Yosef Kastro, born around 498 years ago in Egypt. And the Maran Abed Yosef actually mentioned him. And he, on his commentary on our Torah, he said that actually the Torah here comes to teach us a very important principle. The Torah teaches us that if a person is sick, if a person not feeling well, you're not allowed, and he stand next to you, you're not allowed to bless him and to wish him well, to mention his name. That means if you are going to visit a sick person and he's standing next to you and you want to wish him well, you're not allowed to mention his name. Listen to that. He said, why? How come? What is the Hidush here? He said, here the Torah, Kadosh Baruch Hu came to visit Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu was on the third day after he done his Brit Milah, his circumcision. Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't mention his name on purpose. And Rashi didn't mention his name on purpose to teach us that, lo alenu, when a person not feeling well, he's sick, you're not allowed to mention his name and to bless him. Why? Said the Mefarshim like this. The Mefarshim explain like this. By that the person is already sick, there's a problem with his name. And if you're going to mention his name, the angel that prosecute him, that criticize against him, now will have another reason to try to punish him, to criticize more against him. So come Chazal in the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat and say, if that's the case, so how are we going to do Mishiberach for people that's sick? How can we then say Mishiberach for sick person? So Chazal in the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat, in page 12, folio 2, say like this, that when you come to visit a sick person, you say it in Aramaic, Rahamana, the Almighty, Yadrich Leshalam. What does it mean? That the Almighty will remember you, okay, and will cure you, Be'ezrat Hashem, for peace, in peace. Why Dafka in Aramaic you have to say it? Say the Mefarshim, I'll tell you why. Because when you mention that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gonna heal him, gonna cure him, and say them Refuah Shleima, you say it in Aramaic. If you speak in Aramaic, the angel in heaven does not understand the language of Aramaic. They understand only Hebrew. Say the Mefarshim that the angel in heaven understand only Sfat HaKodesh, the holy language, that's mean Hebrew. But Aramaic, they don't understand. So le'alacha what been paskin? Listen to that. Said Hatam Sofer, Rabbi Moshe Sofer, the Magen Abraham, Rabbi Abraham Abli, they both say that when you're going to visit the sick, okay, it's better that you go and visit him personally, okay? Now, when you go and visit him personally, it's better to, when you're standing in the front of him, you should wish him refuah shleima. You should wish him all the brachot that you want without to mention his name, without mentioning his personal name. That means when we see a person that's not well, he's not feeling well, a person not feeling well, say the mefarshim, the best thing is to do, and you have to go to visit him in a hospital. What is the best thing to do? Say the mefarshim, the best thing to do is when you're standing next to him or you're sitting next to him, whatever the case is, not to mention his name. Obviously, you must wish him refuah shleima, but not to mention his name. So from here we can learn why is the Torah say Vayera elav Adonai. To who did he appear? The Torah doesn't tell us. Rashi HaKadosh that bring the Gemara in Masechet Bava Metzia, in page 86, folio 2, even there Hazal in the Gemara say that he came to visit. He came to visit who? He came to visit the sick person. But he doesn't mention his name. Why? Say Hazal something very important. That you shouldn't mention the name of a sick when you come to visit him. So that's why the Torah here at the beginning of the Parsha doesn't say who HaKadosh Baruch Hu appeared to. It says HaKadosh Baruch Hu appeared to him. But to who, it doesn't say. So from here we learn halakha. Then it says, look what it says, Vayera elav Adonai. What it means, the Shem Havaya. If you look for before that, every time that HaKadosh Baruch Hu used to appear to Abraham, especially say appear to Abraham, never spoke to Abraham face to face, HaKadosh Baruch Hu used to appear to him. It say Shem Elokim, not Shem Havaya. Say the Mefarshim, why is it? Why is it have to be that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, after so many years that he speak to Avraham Avinu, all the time the name of the Almighty Elokim been mentioned. But now it's Shem Havaya when HaKadosh Baruch Hu come to visit him. What's the hidden? Say the Mefarshim like this. Until Avraham Avinu done Brit Milah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu cannot appear to him with the Yud Ke Vav Ke, Shem Havaya. Why? Because Shem Havaya, it's Hesed, kindness. Yud Ke Vav Ke, it's Hesed, kindness. While the name of the Almighty Elokim, that's Gvura, that's Din. There is Din here, judgment. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because Avraham Avinu was not circumcised, and he still have the orla on him, that means the foreskin, that's where all the tumah of a man, woman doesn't have it, but men have it, all the tumah lying there. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu cannot appear to a person that it's full of tumah. So how does he appear to him? With a different character trait of judgment. But now that Avraham Avinu done the Brit Milah, and he removed the foreskin, that's all the tumah that we have to bury it to the ground, that's going, the Mefarshim explained that's going to the Nahash, the snake, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu cursed the snake that he will eat only sand. What it means only sand, we see that these snakes don't eat rats, human being, but everything that they'll eat, they will taste like sand for them. That was the curse. So because the Nahash symbol the tumah, the impurity, we take the foreskin that full of impurity and we bury it on the ground, we give it to where it's belong, to the snake. Said the Mefarshim, now that Avraham Avinu done the Brit Milah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu suddenly can appear to him with a different character trait, with a character trait of Kol Hesed, kindness. And that's why now HaKadosh Baruch Hu appearing to Abraham with the character trait of kindness. Then it's saying, Be'elone Mamre. HaKadosh Baruch Hu appeared to Abraham Avinu well in Elone Mamre. And the Zohar HaKadosh, and many of the Mefarshim, ask, wait, I don't understand. Why does it say Elone Mamre? That's the Zohar HaKadosh asked on Sefer Bereshit in page 98, folio 2. Said the Zohar HaKadosh, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu have to appear to Avraham Avinu dafka in Elone Mamre? So the Zohar HaKadosh explained on Pshat of the Dvarim, and later on he developed it. He said, because Mamre, he's the one that encouraged Avraham Avinu to do the Brit Milah, not to have a moment of debate or to hesitate to do Brit Milah or not. What's happening here? As I'll explain something very important. Avraham Avinu had 3 friends. The first friend that I'm going to mention is Anna. The second friend that he has is Eshkol. And the third friend that he have is Mamre. Those was the closest friend that Avraham Avinu had. Hazal explained that Avraham Avinu, before he gone to do the Brit Milah, after HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him to do the Brit Milah, he gone and he told his friends that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told them to do Brit Milah. And the Midrash explained that Avraham Avinu listened to each one of them, what each one of them have to say. For example, Einar said to Avraham Avinu, listen, you fought with the king, and you actually saved Lot, and you saved the Sdom. If you're going to do Brit Milah, you're going to be in pain and agony. And you're old man. Those kings that you killed, those people that you killed, maybe their family going to ask for revenge, and they're going to come, and they see that you actually sick, they might going to come and start to fight with you. How are you going to fight with them? You're 99, and you're sick. So I don't think that it's a good idea. That was the opinion of Einar. Eshkol suggests to Avraham Avinu, listen, Avraham, you're 99, you're too old. In the age of 99 to do circumcision, to do a Brit Milah, it's very dangerous. You're not a young man. It's very dangerous for old men in your age to do a Brit Milah. But I just want to explain that in daytime, they didn't have hospital, they didn't have anesthetic, they didn't have what we have today. They didn't have all of those hygiene and situation that we have today, that people actually numb the place, giving you injection, that they numb the place. Okay? They didn't have all of that. So Eshkol suggest to Avraham Avinu not to do it. When it came to Mamre, his third friend, Mamre said to Avraham Avinu, I don't understand what's the question. Avraham Avinu, who saved you from the furnace when Nimrod threw you to the furnace? Who saved you? The Almighty. You fought with the four kings. Who saved you? Almighty. So what is the question? If the Almighty tell you to do Brit Milah, you must do. I don't see any question. The same like he done for your miracle then. He will protect you now. He will send you refuah shleima. What are you worried? Until here, that's to explain to us why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu appear to Avraham Avinu in Mamre. But here comes the question. About Avraham Avinu, one of his motives in the world, what was his motives in the world? To spread the emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Said the Mefarshim, why did Avraham Avinu needed to consult with his friend? Why did Avraham Avinu even have a doubt that he need to go and speak to his friend? That's the very valid question. Said the Mefarshim, no. Avraham Avinu told them what the Almighty commanded him. He never consulted with him, number one. But Avraham Avinu told them because he wanted to know which one of those three friends really have emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, faith in the Almighty, and which one of them have the fear of heaven. Said the Mefarshim, the Hidush here, it's not that Avraham Avinu going to consult to do the Brit Milah or not to do the Brit Milah. That was not even a debate. Avraham Avinu knew that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him to do the Brit Milah. He will do it. It wasn't even a debate. And to prove it, you know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he told him to take his own son, his beloved son that he loved so much from Sarai Menu, to sacrifice him on the altar, he was willing to do that. There is no question. Avraham Avinu wanted to know his friends. He wanted to check which one of those friends really believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that have a full faith in the Almighty, and which one of them have the fear from the Almighty. That's how the Mefarshim explain. Let's continue. The pasuk continuing says, "Vehu yoshev petach haoel kechom hayom." He is sitting by the front of his tent in the heat of the day. What does it mean, the heat of the day in the front of the tent? So to understand that, Rabotai, we have to go to the Gemara in Masechet Eruvin, page 19, folio 1. By the way, it's also mentioned in the Midrash Rabbah on our Parsha, in chapter 48. And then Hazal says something very interesting. Hazal say, Avraham Avinu Yoshev Bepitho Shel Gehenom. Avraham Avinu sitting by the front entrance to Gehenna. What's the head? Listen to that. Said the Mefarshim, Avraham Avinu was the first one to do circumcision by command of the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Avraham Avinu was the first one that have to do Brit Milah. Therefore, the mitzvah of Brit Milah, it's one of the covenants that we have with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When a Jewish person take his son, and on the 8 days, if he's healthy, and he do Brit Milah to him, he fulfill that covenant. So Hazal in the Midrash and in the Gemara Masechet Eruvin 19, folio 1, they say like this. Avraham Avinu sitting in the front of the entrance to Gehenna. When a person comes to Gehenna to be punished, Avraham Avinu sit there and he look at him, look at his neshama, because in heaven, obviously, they don't have a full body. And he see, is that person circumcised or not? If he's circumcised, as I say, Avraham Avinu get inside Gehenna and take him out. You have to be punished. But Avraham Avinu go inside and manipulate and take him out of Gehenna. A person, a Jewish person that done Brit Milah. He said, but lo alenu, if a person not circumcised, Avraham Avinu, when that person come, pretend like he doesn't see him, like he's uncircumcised. What does it mean? Although that he's Jewish, he pretend that he doesn't see him. Not only that, Hazal say that if a Jewish person, lo alenu, living with a Gentile woman, okay, and he never done tshuva, I have to mention that, and he never done tshuva, or she never converted, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Abraham Avinu, here's another one, a circumcised one. Abraham Avinu pretend that he doesn't see him. Hazal said there is another third person that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that Abraham Avinu doesn't stop him from going to Gehenna. It's a person, it's people that circumcise. But what they do, they pull the atara to look like the uncircumcised. There's many people that when they're babies, their parents put them, they done the Brit Milah for them. When they're grown up, they didn't want to be part of the Jewish people. They didn't want to say it was up to them. They wouldn't do Brit Milah. So what they do, say Hazal, they pull the atara to look like the uncircumcised. Say Hazal in the Gemara, again, Eruvin 19, folio 1, Midrash Rabbi on Sefer Bereshit, chapter 48. Avraham Avinu, actually, what does he do? He pretends like he doesn't see those things. A person, lo alenu, that been with a Gentile woman and done tshuva and she converted, say Hazal, there is no problem. What's happening? Immediately, HaKadosh Baruch Hu say, oh, he done tshuva. Beseder. If he done tshuva, it changed. And davar ha'omed bifnei tshuva. The second one is a person that never done, even that is Jewish, but he never done Brit Milah. Avraham Avinu ignored. The third one is a person that done Brit Milah, but he's embarrassed that he done Brit Milah. So he pulled the atara to pretend like he still have a foreskin. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Avraham Avinu pretend like he doesn't see him. What does it mean? That he doesn't go inside in Gehenna and manipulate and take him out. And that's what it says, Yoshev, say Hazal, Vehu Yoshev Petach HaOel. In the front of which tent? Kehom Hayom, in the heat of the day. What heat? The heat of Gehenna. What tent? In the entrance to Gehenna. The Pitho to Gehenna. And that's what's the Hidush here. Because Avraham Avinu was the first one that circumcised, he's the one that make the covenant with the Almighty. Then now this covenant have to be kept. when a person breaks that covenant, Avraham Avinu is there, that he, God, those people that kept the covenant, will never allowed, Has v'shalom, for them to be in Gehenna. But those that don't want to be part of the Jewish people, those that don't want to circumcise, Avraham Avinu pretend like he doesn't see. And that's the Hidush, as I've said. And now we can understand why is the Torah here tell us, V'hu yoshev petach ha'oel, he sits in the front of the tent, kehamayom, in the heat of the day, in the heat of Gehenna. Let's continue, and we'll go to verse 21. I'm jumping quite a bit. You know what? No, let's go to verse 4. And in verse 4, we see something very interesting. Look here. יוקחנה מעט מים, ורחצו רגליכם, וישענו תחת העץ.
Let some water be brought, and wash your feet, and recline beneath the tree.
אין הפשט of the דברים, when אברהם אבינו met the 3 angels that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent to visit him, the one was to cure him, the one is to give the news to Sarai Menu and to Abraham Avinu that they will have a son, and the third one was to turn Sodom v'Amorah, to punish Sodom v'Amorah. Abraham Avinu saw 3, the Chazal say, 3 Ishmaelim, Orchei Drachim, 3 people, strange. He was thinking that a human being. What did he say to them? He said, please come into my house, but I want you to wash your feet, and I want you to rest under the tree. To wash the feet, in the pshat of the dvarim, there is dust. Because you walk on he was in Beersheba, you walk through the wilderness, of Sinai, or Midbar Yehuda, the Judean desert, you obviously dirty. There's a lot of dust on you. Wash your feet and sit under the tree, rest under the tree, because the tree will give you a bit of shadow, it's going to cool you down, and etc. That's pshat of the dvarim. But there is here something very extraordinary, and we spoke about it in Chag Sukkot. Avraham Avinu have a well and a tree, one next to each other, outside his tent. And that tree used to do a test with the people. People that used to be idol worshippers, if Avraham Avinu wanted to test if they're idol worshippers or not, he used to tell them, listen, rest, sit under the tree. And he would see if the tree will be giving shadow to that person, he will know that he's not an idol worshipper. If he's a little bit, he will give shadow, but he wouldn't give shadow. The water was that's how did he used to convert them from idol worshiping? By that he used to tell them to go into the well. That well was to make them dunk to the mikvah, like going to the mikvah. That's until here, Hazal tell us in the Midrash, that Avraham Avinu, when people used to come through his tent, come to eat, he have a motel, that it used to be free. People wanted to eat, and Avraham Avinu used to test them. And he used to convert him to believe that there is a creator to the world. Okay, so the tree was to test them, if they're idol worshippers, And the well was to actually convert them, בסדר. Until here we understand. Hazal tell us something very extraordinary about it. Hazal tell us by that it says sha'anu tahat ha'etz, the Midrash says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Avraham Avinu, you given a shelter to my angel? I promise you, 420 years later, plus minus, when your grandchildren will be in the wilderness, in the Sinai wilderness, I will provide for them shelter. What was? Anania Kavod, the cloud of glory. The cloud of glory, that's why we sit in a sukkah. In honor of the cloud of glory, we sit in a sukkah. Rabotai, here said the Zera Shimshon, Rabbi Shimshon Chaim Nachmani. He born in Modena in the north of Italy 318 years ago, 319 years ago almost. Say something extraordinary. He said that the Zohar HaKadosh said to us that the sukkah that we build in honor of the cloud of glory, cloud, Chazal call it, what do you call it? It's just ran off my sukkah de mehamnuta, the sukkah of belief. Said the Zohar HaKadosh called the sukkah de mehamnuta. The sukkah, that means that's the place of emunah. Until here, we understand the Zohar. Come the Zera Shimshon and say, I explain to you. Why is the Zohar HaKadosh call it Sukkah Demnuta? The Sukkah of Emunah. I'll tell you why. That tree that Avraham Avinu have outside his tent, that when people used to sit underneath that tree, and that tree, after Avraham Avinu managed to speak to them, and used to give a little bit of shadow, that's already used to convert and bring in people that was either worshippers, emunah in themselves. That means the tree himself used to implant emunah, and those that used to come to Avraham Avinu when they wanted to eat from at his place, wanted to drink, and that's the hidush. He says, Sha'anu tahat ha'etz. That tree used to implant on him emunah. Why? Because in merit of that tree, the Jewish people received the cloud of glory. In the merit of that, we build the Sukkot for 8 days, and the Esprah for 9 days. What's the Hidush? Said the Zera Shimshon, Rabbi Shimshon Chaim Nachmani, that tree used to implant in people in the heart when they used to sit underneath him, emunah. And that's why the Zohar HaKadosh called the Sukkah, Sukkah Demnuta. Okay? The place of emunah. That means that the Sukkah himself can plant on us emunah. Okay, let's go to verse 21. And here we're speaking in verse 21, we're going to be speaking about Sdom V'Amorah. And in verse 21, let me just get there. Okay, I'm there. The Torah tells us like this. Erdana, וראה, הכצעקתה הבאה אליי. צאו כלה ואם לא, אדע.
I will descend and see. If they act in accordance with its outcry, which has come to me, then destruction. And if not, I will know.
Okay. In English, again, I have to explain, it doesn't say kitsakata is the scream, but sakata is more in a feminine. There is tsaak in a feminine, but tsaka or tsakata, it's in in a feminine, but in tsaak, it's in masculine. That means that you can mention the word in two different variety. One time it sounds like a female, one time it sounds like a male. But here it says more in a feminine. Eredana vere. I will come down from heaven, the Almighty said, and I will see. Haketzakata habailai is that sound that coming to me in a feminine. The Mefarshim ask, why did it say here in a feminine? The screaming, the shouting is in feminine. Why not in masculine? That's the question of the Mefarshim. Rabotai, that's the difference. And funny enough, this morning, at Shul, I spoke to Jeffrey. Funny enough, he mentioned that. We spoke that the words, the translation of the English, it's never can be translated properly to Hebrew. And here's one of the examples. And we have to understand what's happening here. Chazal explained to us in the Midrash that Sdom, the city of Sdom, okay, was a very rich and prosperity land. That one in every 40 years, listen to that, they used to plant the ground. Once in 40 years, they plant the ground, and for the next 40 years, everything growing. Mamish lagan eden, lehavdil. Everything that you wanted, they have there. That means, if you look at Sdom, it can be the Gan Eden here on earth. Okay? Hazal there in the Midrash explained that the people of Sdom, sorry 1 second, Baruch atah Adonai, Olam shakol niyeh b'dvaro.
Amen.
They were so self-centered that when they start to realize that people coming to beg, to ask, they start to worry. Listen, if we're going to start allowing people to come here to collect money, we're going to allow people to come here to beg, we're going to lose all our prosperity. So the first thing that they've done in the constitution, that not everyone can come to Sdom, to be a member of Sdom. Obviously, you have to have certain amount of money, certain amount of thing, and then they check you up. But they have another very wicked character trait. That if a poor person come to town, they used to make his life so misery, and no one giving him food. They used to give him money, but they never used to give him food. With the money that he had, he couldn't buy food because no one will sell them with this money. And a poor person one day arrived, the Midrash say, in Sdom. And when he arrived in Sdom, he was begging for bread, for food. Just give me something to eat. Everyone ignored him. And he almost died. A little girl saw him. It's a very famous Midrash. And she knew that she couldn't give him direct food, because if someone sees her, the punishment is death. So she put it in a clay. She used to hide it inside a clay, She pretend like she's going to throw the rubbish, and she used to put a few slices of bread. And that's how we survive. And the people of Sodom see 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. The man doesn't die. How can it be? Let's follow him. They follow him. And they see that he actually getting food. He eating bread. Who's giving him the bread? So, again, they put those spies and they follow him until they found a little girl that used to feed them every day, that she had mercy on him. The punishment was that they took her clothes off, they left her naked, but they smudged her with honey. And the bee came and they used to sting her, and she used to scream. And said the Midrash that HaKadosh Baruch Hu listened and heard her scream. And that's when he decided to turn Sodom v'Amorah upside down. And that's what he said. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, Erdana, I'm going to come down from heaven. Ver'eh, and I want to see. Haketza'akata ba'alai. Is that what's happening down here in Sodom? That little girl that's screaming, is that because what the member of Sodom punish her? The decree that they put on her? The judgment that they decide that to leave her get bitten by the bees? I want to see it in my own eyes. And I want to hear it. And now we can understand why it's haketza'akata, that the scream was in a feminine way. What is Sodom, the law of Sodom was so upside down, as I'll say, that they're telling us a story about Eliezer, Eved Avraham. Eliezer, Eved Avraham, when Avraham Avinu sent Eliezer to go to Haran. So he gone from Beersheba, he gone through Sodom, he gone up to Haran. Haran, where is Haran? Haran is by Turkey, Kurdistan, right in the top, in the north. It's more northeast, to be accurate, more east. More. He passed through the city of Sodom. In the city of Sodom, when he came there, a person thrown him a stone, and he actually caused him to bleed. Eliezer saw that, immediately gone to the police, and the police say, yes, you're right, let's take him to the judge. When they put him in the front of the judge said to him, hear what Eliezer have to say, and what the other guy have to say. You know what was the verdict of the judge? He said to Eliezer, the servant of Avraham Avinu, you have to pay him money. Eliezer looked at the judge and said, how come? He said, he done you a favor. He said, done me a favor? He said, yeah. He said, by that you lost blood, it's good because new blood gonna come. They call it hakazat dam. Eliezer immediately, the penny dropped, realized who he's dealing with. He took a stone and he said, in that case, I tell you what, I owe him money. He took a stone and he threw him 2 stones, and double the amount of blood came. He said, now he have to pay me. So from here you learn that the law, the constitution of the city of Sodom was so much corrupt, upside down completely. Just for us to understand who was the member of Sodom. And who decided to go there? Lot, the nephew of Avraham Avinu. Let's go to chapter 19, verse 9, and there we'll see something very, very interesting about Lot, what the people of Sodom saying to Lot. What's happened here? After Lot become a member of the city of Sodom, the city of Sodom, Hazal said that appoint him as a judge. Rashi also bring him. He became one of the judges in Sodom. Okay. Look what it says in a verse, and then we'll explain. ויאמרו, גש אליו, ויאמרו, האחד בא לגור, וישפוט שפוט אתה, נראה לך מהם. ויפצרו באיש לוט מאוד, ויקשו לשבור את הדלת. What's happening? בכבוד, Jeffrey.
Right. And they said, stand back. Then they said, this fella came to sojourn and would act as a judge. Now we will treat you worse than them. They pressed exceedingly upon the man, upon Lot, and they approached to break the door.
What's happening here? The Mefarshim explain that they appointed Lot as a judge. When the angel came to visit him, Lot hosted him. In Sodom was not such thing as hosting visitors. Visitors, unheard of. Okay? They didn't want visitors. So when the angel came to save Lot and his family, people told that suddenly, look, the judge, Lot, host people. That's against the constitution. The people of Sodom got cross. We appointed you just a few days ago as a judge, Rashi said. Rashi HaKadosh. And suddenly you decide that you're going to change all the constitution, you have your own legislation, you're going to do whatever you want. No. That's not going to work here. They complained to Lot, how can it be that we appointed you as a judge and you going against our own constitution? You hosting visitors? That's not going to happen. So they approach to try to force the door open, to break the door. Actually, to break the door, lishbor hadelet. It's a, what means lishbor hadelet? To break the door, the front door, to enter and to take everyone out and to punish them, include Lot. Say the Mefarshim something very important. Say the Kli Yakar, Rabbi Shlomo Ephraim Milontwich. He born in Poland 483 years ago, plus minus. He said that, you know what was the complaint of the member of Sodom? I'll tell you what the member, why they're getting cross, why they're getting upset. That here, that not only that you a new judge, now you want to change all our constitution. Who given you the rights? Who given you the rights to change the constitution? That's that you're a judge doesn't give you the rights to change all of that legislation. Who given you that? That's what it says here. That the people of Sodom suddenly come and say, who given you the rights to do whatever you want? You can't do that. And that's why they want to punish Lot even more severe. We know what Lot offered them. That's not the point. What you learn from here, that the people of Sodom were so wicked that they couldn't even see that visitors will come to their place, to their town. They didn't want visitors. They didn't want anyone to have any benefit from them. That's how wicked they was. Let's go to chapter. Wow, the time is running off. Again, I didn't finish. Let's go to chapter 20, verse 11. But you know what? That's not good. Let's do something even more. I'm going to jump more with your permission. Let's go to chapter 21, verse 1. There we see something very interesting. Let's try and understand that before we go to chapter. I'm going to skip chapter 20. Let's go to chapter 21, verse 1. Jeffrey, chapter 21,
Yes.
verse 1. And here we're talking about that Akadosh Baruch Hu actually done a miracle. And look what it says. Ve'adonai hakad et Sarah כאשר אמר. ויעש אדוני לשרה כאשר דיבר.
Hashem had remembered Sarah, as he had said, and Hashem did for Sarah as he had spoken.
But if you look here, the verse repeats himself. Akadosh Baruch Hu pakad et Sarah. That means Akadosh Baruch Hu made Sarah fall pregnant. Sarah fall pregnant. Akadosh Baruch Hu done what he promised to Sarah. Come, Rabbi Shalom Abu Hatzera. And he asked, wait, I don't understand. Why the word in this verse repeat himself? Why the verse repeat himself? What is the Torah trying to teach us? By that the Torah tell us that Akadosh Baruch Hu made sure that Sarah gonna fall pregnant, that Sarah Imenu is pregnant. And Akadosh Baruch Hu done what he promised to Sarah Imenu, that she will fall pregnant. What is the Hidush here? Why does it repeat it? Why does the Torah tell us all of that? Say, that's the question of Rabbi Shalom Abu Hatzera. Rabbi Shalom Abu Hatzera, actually, to answer that, he bring in what Hazal tell us in the Gemara in Masechet Yevamot 64, folio 2, to answer that question. Hazal in the Gemara tell us something very interesting about Sarah Imenu. We all know that Sarah Imenu was barren for many years. Yes, Sarah Imenu was barren. But Hazal and the Gemara tell us that Sarah wasn't only barren. You know what was the problem with Sarah? Sarah didn't have a womb, so she couldn't fall pregnant. That's that she's barren is one thing. But Sarah Imenu have two problems. Number one, she was a barren. Number two, she never had a womb. And if she doesn't have it, she can't fall pregnant. Say the reason that the verse repeat himself, that Akadosh Baruch Hu needs to make two miracles for Sarah. Number one, if a woman needs to carry a baby, to have a baby, you need a womb. Number two is not to be a barren. Akadosh Baruch Hu done a double miracle to Sarah. By that, that number one, in a late age, Rabotai, she wasn't a young girl. Sarah wasn't a young girl. She was 90. It's not Zelo Pashut. That's the secret. That Akadosh Baruch Hu changed everything against nature. Akadosh Baruch Hu changed everything and make double miracle for him. And that's how Sarah then can fall pregnant and have Yitzhak Avinu. He had to make two miracles. Number one, that she's not going to be without a womb. Number two, that she's not going to be any more barren. And that's the Hidush here. Why the verse repeats himself, say Rabbi Shalom Abu Hatzera. How much time we have? We have 1 minute. Let's try and squeeze something more quick, because I'm trying to stick to time. Let's go to verse 22, 1. ויהי אחר הדברים האלה, והאלוהים נישא את אברהם, ויאמר אליו, אברהם, ויאמר, הנני. Chapter 22, verse 1.
And it happened after these things that God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham? And he replied, Here I am.
Many of the Mefarshim ask, why is the test of the Akedat Yitzhak, the test of taking Yitzhak Avinu to sacrifice on top of the altar, was much higher test than those that die for the sake of the Almighty. For example, those that die because they're Jewish people and they wasn't willing to convert, to change their religion, they die for the sake of heaven. Those that die in a pogrom, those that die in the Holocaust, those that die in the 7th of October because they're Jewish. What's the difference between them that they sacrifice themselves to Abraham Avinu and Yitzhak Avinu that was willing to sacrifice Yitzhak Avinu? What is the Hidush? How can you say that the Nisayon, the test of the Akedah, is actually higher than them? That's the question. So I saw a beautiful commentary of the Gaon Hida, Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azulai. He born in Jerusalem around 299, close to 300 years ago. Rabbi Yosef Chaim David Azulai, Gaon Hida. In his commentary, he explains something very important. He said like this. He said that Hazal in the Gemara in Masechet Psachim tell us something extraordinary. In page 50, folio 1. Hazal tell us that a person that died for the sake of heaven, because he was Jewish and he'd been murdered, he was never willing to convert and etc. to other religion, to change his religion. He died because he was Jewish. In heaven, no one can come close to him. Not a human being and not an angel. He have a special place in heaven. Why? Because he died on Kiddush Hashem, for the sake of heaven. He says, so how can you tell me that the test of Avraham Avinu and Yitzhak Avinu was higher to go to the Akedah? Said the Gaon Hida explained. Those that die for the sake of the Almighty, not necessary that they was happy to do that. They didn't have a choice. They've been forced to do it. Those that been murdered in the Holocaust, those that been murdered in a Spanish Inquisition, in a pogrom, they been forced. It's not that they was happy to do that. If they have alternatively, they maybe wouldn't choose it. We don't know. But when Avraham Avinu and Yitzhak Avinu go into the Akedah, Avraham Avinu and Yitzhak Avinu done it with full faith, with happiness. He said that Yitzhak Avinu told his father Avraham Avinu, Koshreni Hazak, tie me very tight. Why? Shema Azuz, I might gonna move. And when I see the knife and you wanted to slaughter, to sacrifice me, I'm maybe gonna move, Yitzhak Avinu said to Avraham Avinu. And then the korban, I'm not gonna be a proper kosher korban. So they done it with joy and happiness to sacrifice themselves for the sake of heaven. He said, well, those holy people that been murdered, been killed, we don't know. He said, when Abraham Avinu been thrown to the furnace and came out, Abraham Avinu have the faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He done it with joy and happiness. Yitzhak Avinu done it with joy and happiness. But those that die for the sake of heaven, many of them try to save themselves. And we know for a fact, they try to run. They try to escape in a Spanish Inquisition, in a time of the pogrom in Hamamitsky and his son, in a time of the Holocaust. During all the history, not everyone was so quick to die. But when it's come to the Akedah, Abraham Avinu and Yitzhak Avinu walk with joy and happiness. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that merit of the Akedah will stand for us, will stand for all the Jewish people. That merit of the Akedah will stand to all the Jewish people, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will remember the Akedat Yitzhak and guard us and protect us. Rabotai, every morning, and with that I'm going to conclude, we saying Parashat Akedah. Before the Korbanot, Parashat Akedah. Hazal said that the person that read Parashat Akedah with focusing, with the kavanah, and understand what it says, when it's come to Yom Rosh Hashanah, listen to that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu judge him favorably. But all of that day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu protect him. So how important every morning, how long take the Akedah? For those that a bit battling, take 5 minutes, maximum 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Never will take 10 minutes. The Akedah, if you read it, I'm not talking about myself, that it's my home language, that's easier for me. But the average person, not more than 4 minutes, 5 minutes. 5 minutes a day, what we can get from Parashat Akedah, how much benefit, how much guardians, how much protection. And the most important, Leyom Adin, for the day of judgment. Why did I brought it? To teach us that if a person needs the merit of Yitzhak Avinu and Abraham Avinu, the merit of Yitzhak Avinu that was willing to go to sacrifice himself in Akedah, until today we benefiting from it. That merit, that act that Yitzhak Avinu done, we benefiting from it until today, until the Mashiach. So Be'ezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have mercy on us, on all the Jewish soldiers in the south, in the north, in the east, in the sea, in the west, in the sea, that try to guardians, the Jewish people in Eretz Israel, all the Jewish all over the world, that merit will stand to them, protect them, and protect all the Jewish people all over the world. Amen. Rabotai, I hope that you enjoy the Sha'ul. I hope that it will give you a different way to look at Parashat HaShavua when we read Parashat HaShavua, to understand the Parsha from a different angle. If you have any question, please unmute the microphone and I'll try to answer. Any question? Bechavod.
Yep.
Ken, Jeffrey, Bechavod.
I'll stop. Yeah, okay, Rav. Good evening, everybody.
Thank you for reading for us. Thank
you. Rav, I do understand. You made it clear that when someone dies for the sake of heaven, they go to a very special place in Shemayim, and you mentioned that the test of the Akedah is even higher. It's even higher, it's even greater. And because they had the thing which I'd like to just ask about, when it came to a pogrom, when it came to the terrible Holocaust, when it came to that, there were no choices. The thing over the Akedah, it was a choice, and this is what puts it above everything else, except I feel perhaps one of the things you do have a choice. You either convert or you don't convert. You have a choice whether to convert. And those people that choose not to convert under such pressure, to me, it's as if it's like the Akedah. It's of that height.
Okay. But you have to remember that those that die for the sake because they're Jewish in the Holocaust, in the 7th of October, in a program, they didn't ask him to convert. A matter of fact, Hitler, Yimach Shemo v'Zichro, going 5 generations backwards, was many people that converted. They become even priests. But when he heard that they're actually Jewish, that the mother's Jewish, and the grandmother is Jewish, and the grandmother's Jewish, and etc., he killed them. He didn't give them a chance to convert.
Yeah. No, but that's the point. That's my point. My point is all
so
these.
They didn't have a choice. They didn't have a choice.
Yeah, but
they forced them. They forced them to die. But Yitzhak Avinu have a choice. He was 37. He can resist his father at 137. Yitzhak Avinu didn't have to go. A young boy of 37, Hazal tell us in the Mishnah Masechet Avot, Ben 30 לגבורה, was trained. A man of 137 can fight a young man of 37?
It had to be agreement.
Not only that, Yitzhak Avinu was happy to sacrifice himself. He go with joy and happiness.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
That's the difference. When the others, we don't know. They didn't want to convert because they're Jewish. Yeah. That's one thing. But from that situation to say that I'm happy to be sacrificed on an Akedah, on an altar, that's a different league. Especially you resist. Beseder, Jeffrey? Yeah. You understand the Hidush here?
Yes, that was a big difference, the happiness in doing it.
Okay.
But that's sorry, hello Rabbi, and hello Jeffrey, and hello everybody.
Good evening. Baruch Hashem. Ken,
Now, I just wanted to say that's why there were the Avot, because don't we say that with every generation we go down from the Avot? I forget how it goes. Malachim. Then we were like Bnei Adam or something.
Okay. But the point is what Orna tried to say, what it's called Yeridat HaDorot. What it's mean Yeridat HaDorot? Yeridat HaDorot, it's in every generation, we actually dropping down in our faith, in our emunah, in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Not only in the knowledge that we don't have like them, and the wisdom, it's also in a faith. But Rabota, we have to understand what our forefathers done for us, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, they paved the way for us that we can die in a Holocaust without converting. That strength came from who? Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. To die for the sake of heaven, to believe that I'm a Jew, to have kindness. The fourth mother, that they are Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. If you take the acronym of each letters, you get the word Barzel, steel. That means that in the merit of the mothers, what way we got behind Zilpa, sorry, I forgot to mention that, in the merit of the mothers, that's where we get the string to continue in every generation to be like steel. Although that they persecute us, although that they try to annihilate us, although that they killed us, we never give up as a Jews. We like steel. You follow, Jeffrey?
Yep.
The forefather paved the way. After they paved the way, you still have to be strong. That's come from the mothers. ראשי תיבות ברזל, בלהה, רחל, זלפה, לאה.
Yeah, thank you.
בסדר?
Yeah. Rob, I have a question. I've been weighing it up whether I should ask it, but I think we can. Orna's there, so she's a woman, and so I think I'd like to ask this question. You explained to us that Hashem, his name, he used the name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, kindness, after the bris with the Abraham. Before then,
He appeared to Abraham. He appeared to Abraham with that name, with that character trait.
Before it was more in judgment and din Elohim, and then it was changed, right? And why? You mentioned because when the covenant was made with the bris, the foreskin was removed, and there was the tumah was removed. The tumah was removed. My question is this: where is the tumah in women? Number one. And what do they need to do to remove any impurity that may be in a woman?
Okay, so impurity, first of all, there's two women. It's not only Orna, is also Terran with us. I need to answer that. So first of all, the tumah that we talking is not a tumah that we understanding. The great eagle, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon. Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, that born in the city of Cordova in Spain, 884 years ago. No, 889 years ago. Sorry, my mistake. 889 years ago. He explained why is a Jewish boy or baby have to do Brit Milah. So he bring two reasons. And then the question become why a woman doesn't have to do that. So there is here one thing that we have to understand. It's the answer that the Rambam bring according to the Pshat of the Dvarim. And then he bring more mystical thing. Although that the Rambam never speak in a mystical way, you see that he was a great Kabbalistic. He said that the difference between us and the Goyim is a Brit Milah. He said, Kadosh Baruch Hu wanted to stop us to have that kind of a desire of physical desire. By that you do in Brit Milah, that desire, the enjoyment, drop down, to get closer to the Almighty. You can bond to the Almighty. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu have to separate from his wife. Because a person that holy cannot share two things. We're not like Christians that believe that they should be without a woman. Kadosh Baruch Hu know that the main con lo tov hiyot ha'adam levado. It's not good for a man to be by himself. So how do you become closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? By that you have to do, act in your body, you show the covenant that you believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Said the Mefarshim that by that we sacrificing part of our body, we become bonded to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's why we have to do it. Women have a different level. Woman doesn't have the black box that a man have, in simple English. A man have a lot of imagination. A woman doesn't have it. That's why women, spiritually, there's a lot of men here, you're not gonna love to hear it. They're in a higher level than us. In a higher level than us, a woman. That's why they don't have so much mitzvot. For them to connect, to bond, spirituality, it's easier than a man. They're in a different level. So they got a different kind. They have their cycle. That's the punishment that Hava been cursed. But they don't have to go through that covenant to remove the impurity that we have on us. Because they're in a different level than us, spiritually. We have to remove it, said the Rambam, that will help us to come closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When them, it's easier for them to become born and to get closer to the Almighty. While a man with a foreskin can't. A man with a foreskin actually gonna battle. If he doesn't get Siyata Dishmaya, it's unheard of. Unheard of. That can happen. He need a lot of help. And that's why Antoninos, remember I told the story about Antoninos and Rabbi. How did Antoninos, that was uncircumcised Caesar, decide suddenly to circumcise himself? Because he been nursed by the mother of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, the wife of Rabban Gamliel. You follow?
Yeah.
Beseder?
Well, there's two types of urges. There's the physical, there's the urges. There's the urge. We have to have an urge. If we haven't got an urge, we wouldn't want to settle down, have children. We wouldn't have that.
For sure.
So we need that.
Sure.
So we've got that. It doesn't. But what you're telling us is that yes, from ours is strictly an urge for that.
For the need,
woman,
for our need, for our needs.
A woman,
let me give you an
there's
analogy
also certain
that you'll
urges they
understand.
must have as well. To want
yeah,
to have.
Yes, they wanted it, but they do more than that. They take it to different places. Can't speak about it.
Yes, sure.
Let me give you an analogy. The Torah doesn't tell us not to drink. In our Torah, in honor of Shabbat, you're allowed to have a drink. Nachon?
Yeah.
You want to drink during the week, you also can drink. But in honor of Shabbat, you're allowed to have a tot of whiskey, two, whatever. The difference is that you're allowed to drink, but with moderation.
And the bris helps you to have that moderation.
I understand. By that we're doing circumcision, it helps us to be in moderation. When other people's, when they see the bottle, if it's not empty, they don't stop.
Yeah.
The desire to get hangover, to get drunk, whatever, that's a difference. You follow the analogy?
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
You have to satisfy yourself. But you got it, thank you, bye-bye.
Yeah.
When you have the foreskin, it's a different level. I can't talk about it.
Yeah, sure.
That we can talk about it one-on-one. But you understand the difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
בסדר? I hope that I explained that. Ken, בכבוד, who else?
Rabbi, it's Frank. How are you?
Sorry.
These two people, Frank or Orna, which one of you?
Frank, go ahead. I spoke enough.
Frank,
Okay.
בכבוד.
Right. Rabbi, I came in a bit late because I had a problem getting in. But when you were talking about a person going to visit the sick and everything, I understood that. But what happens in the when you do the Amida? And every time it says there's a special portion to say about the person, but you do it in Hebrew.
Rapenu. Yeah, Rapenu. But he's not next to you. He's not next to you.
Not face to face.
You see, what I explained that when you're going to visit the sick,
Yes.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu appeared to Abraham. He was, the Holy Spirit was by Abraham Avinu.
Right.
He couldn't mention it. That's
No.
when we say Meshiberach, it's good to say Meshiberach when the person not next to you.
Okay, now I understand. Okay. Thank you, Rabbi.
בסדר?
Yeah.
כן. אורנה בכבוד, כן, אורנה. Orna wanted to talk. כן, Orna בכבוד.
No, it's not serious. I just wanted to say that that's why at the end when Bilaam could not curse and he was only blessing, he told Balak that the only way he can get to the Jews is by supplying them the Midianite women, so to speak, and we will not go into further details.
Yeah, immorality. But who was, and here that will help also Jeffrey to understand. Jeffrey, HaKadosh Baruch Hu given the Jewish people Navi, a prophet like Moshe Rabbeinu. In a Goyim, for the Gentiles, he brought another prophet. Who was it? Bilaam HaRasha. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he became holy, Ve'ish Moshe, Ish Elohim. Ish or Elohim, man or God. The Mefarshim explain that from his waist to the head, he was holy like a God. From the hip, that's the waist, down, he was like a normal human being. He needed to go to the toilet, he had these physical needs, whatever. The difference is that when Moshe Rabbeinu realized that he grown up in Yiddishkeit, he changed completely. Bilaam, that have the prophecy, married a donkey, the she donkey.
Hello?
You understand the difference? You understand the different desire? Do you understand? That's the difference. That when you have it, lo alenu, and when a person doesn't have a brit milah, the physical desire is beyond understanding. Where it can take you. It can take you completely to different corners. To beastlyhood. You follow, right, Jeffrey?
Yeah.
And that's the difference between us. And that's the covenant, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to act B'Tselem Elokim ברא את האדם, that we should behave in his character trait that he given us, not to become like animal. Animal doesn't have a husband and a wife. There's no such thing. And that's, if people doesn't know how to control themselves, they're going to all different behavior.
Yeah.
Do you follow? We can develop that subject for hours,
Yeah.
because
Good.
there is ish, veisha,
Yeah.
a man and a wife. And a wife, there is the yud-k, and a man, you have the yud. That means that's the shekhinah. If the husband and the wife bring the prosperity, the holiness, the divine of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to their house, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu can dwell there. How that become? When they behave modestly. As v'shalom, when people doesn't behave modestly, we saw what's happened in the generation of the flood.
Yeah.
And that's what Chazal
It's
said.
almost like that now. Yeah. The world is like that now.
That's what I was going to say, Jeffrey. With the woke generation now, it's the same thing.
Same thing.
So the Zohar HaKadosh in Parashat Noach, the Zohar HaKadosh in Parashat Noach explained, before the Mashiach comes, he's going to give a chance to all of those that was in Dora Mabul, in the generation of the flood, to do rectification to behavior. The final sieve. Those that going to continue with the obesely behavior, uncontrolled behavior, the Zohar said, not me, the Zohar.
What do you mean, Rabbi? You mean about the berurim achronim?
Yeah, זה נקרא סיב. סיבים. בירור, מלשון בירור. ואז מי שלא עומד בבירור, מי שלא רוצה להתנהג, יש... You have to understand, there is a ruler and there is a creator to this world. We can't do what we want. You know, let me give you a knowledge. A person go to the supermarket, he take a trolley, he can take whatever he wants from the shelf. No one gonna stop him. But before he leave the supermarket, he have to go through the counter to pay. That's the difference. If you can pay, you can leave the supermarket. But if you can't pay, that's a different story.
There's a price.
There's a price for everything in this life. And that's what the Torah tried to teach us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us a Torah. Torah, it means menu. The word Torah is a menu. Like you said, Torah Lehima. The manual of fighting. In everything there is Torah. A manual. HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us a Torah and given us help how to behave like a human being. Did you hear what the first thing that Donald Trump want to do? The first thing when he gonna get in January as the president of United States, he want to bring back the family together. Because these people believe that they dog, they bark, human being. These people think that they cat, so they're smiling. The world gone completely wrong. They're off the rail. People
Totally.
lost any
What's their
sense.
mind?
There's no mind. They behave like dogs. They try to talk like dogs. The world, if you look what's happening, and you know a little bit, just to read the Zohar a little bit, you can read the Zohar with, you don't need to go to the depths of the Zohar, just the commentary of the Zohar. You'll understand what's going to happen in Parashat Noah.
Yeah.
And that's what Shlomo HaMelech said. En hadash tachat hashemesh.
Nothing new.
מה שהיה, זה שיהיה. That's it. You can't change it. But we all human beings. We all have the Yetzer Hara because Adam HaRishon eaten from the tree of knowledge. How do you fight that Yetzer Hara? The Hazal, Kadosh Baruch Hu said, Barati Yetzer Hara. I created the evil inclination. Barati lo Torat Tavlin. Torah, that's our 5 books of Moses. Tavlin. I created this path that can help you to overcome the Yetzer. The same like a person want to eat a piece of meat. If you wouldn't spice it, it wouldn't be tasty. HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us the Torah to help us to control and to overcome the Yetzer.
It's the antidote. Yeah.
That's the Torah is the antidote. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
the antidote for, well, Rob, we're conditioned, all of us. We're conditioned by the culture we're in throughout the world. We're all over. We're in exile. We're conditioned. And our only antidote is the Torah. That's it. Okay.
I hope that answers your question with the Brit Milah.
Yeah.
Okay, any other question, Rabotai? I hope that you enjoyed the show. There's any question? Yeah. No question? I think that Bar Kochva unmuted and muted. Bar Kochva, did you wanted to say something?
Rabbi, how are you?
Erev Tov, Bar Kochva. Rabotai, Bar Kochva is a new joiner. I know him now for a couple of months. Baruch Hashem, he's from Eretz Israel. Just to introduce Bar Kochva.
Ah, beautiful.
He's here on for a few years for business, and Baruch Hashem is joining us. Yes, Bar Kochva, you wanted to ask something. I saw that you muted earlier.
No, I think what I had in mind was already answered. So all good for now.
Beseder. Okay, if we answer, Baruch Hashem.
Thank you.
Anyone, pleasure. Anyone else want to ask question? Anyone want to ask question? No. Okay, Rabotai, first of all, I would like to thank you all for joining us tonight. I hope that will give us a different way to look at the Parsha this coming Shabbos. Again, I will be giving on Shabbos the live show in Yeshiva College in a big shul an hour before Minha. Maybe the venue going to change because they have a big occasion there. There's a great bar mitzvah there, so we might have to move. I'm not sure, but the show going to be an hour before Minha at Yeshiva College, but that's going to be more in depth, more with, I'm going to bring a lot of commentary. I do more, the show there, I do it more with, not more mystical only, it's more with depth, with all different mefarshim, and the question that we ask, we're going to explain, like the last question that we asked, for example, in a shi'ur, the Almighty tested Abraham. So we explain what's the difference between the test of Abraham, Yitzhak Avinu, and those that die for the sake of heaven. There we're going to actually explain what it means. It was after those words. What it means after those words? When the evil inclination decide that to criticize against Avraham Avinu, and etc. So we're going to go in depth, Be'ezrat Hashem, those that can come, Yeshiva College, an hour before Shabbat. In the meantime, I would like to wish all of you Shabbat Shalom. Please God that you'll have a great, peaceful Shabbos to us, to call Am Israel. And we have only that we're asking from HaKadosh Baruch Hu to send us Mashiach, Tzidkenu speedily in our day. Amen. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for
Amen.
joining. Good
Thank
night.
you, Rabbi.
Thank you.
Good night.
All
Cheers,
the
everybody.
brachot.
Good night,
Okay. Good night. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.